Bad luck struck us again. We lost the GoPro.
So right now we're on the southernmost part of the archipelago here on the west coast. So from here we'll go south and leave the archipelago. I think we have around 90 nautical miles down to the entrance to Öresund and our region, Skåne. So we're not sure yet. We'll see how the weather develops, but it looks like we can get some northerly winds tomorrow. There's already some northwesterlies today, but it's going to die down again, so we decided to wait another day. It's going to be more steady winds tomorrow. And maybe we go all the way, because we have such a long days now. We could easily sail 80 nautical miles, maybe 90, before sunset tomorrow evening, if we start early. Maybe it's kind of cool with these pilot stations on a lot of the islands here in the archipelago. They always stand on really exposed areas because they needed to have a good view of the sea outside. So they're always high up, and when you're sailing outside islands here, you could see some of these pilot stations on some of the islands. They sit in such cool locations.
We walked north out of the village to a beach on the east side, which was super pretty. After the beach, it was workout time for me, hoisting Johan up to the mast top, which took me like a solid 10 minutes. Why didn't I get sent up the mast instead, you think? Well, I wouldn't be able to reach on top of the mast, unfortunately. Johan took down the wind anemometer to find out why it hasn't been working for a while.
Ja, du kan släppa ner mig igen. You can hear it? It's like it's
Squeaking.
yeah, some grinding sound in there. I think it's just dirt, but I don't know if this is the way to take it apart. There's only this screw. Yeah, maybe I should Google this first, see if there's any secret screw or anything, because I can't see any. Maybe there's one in the bottom of this hole, a really tiny one then.
This is threaded where my thumb is for the cups to screw onto.
Yeah, I found some instructions online on how to take this apart. It was pretty straightforward. You just had to use some gentle force to pry these pieces apart. And there's a bearing in here that needs some lubrication. I just need to clean it up. There's a lot of pollen in here. So I guess that's from a few weeks back when everything just exploded and there was pollen everywhere. It's all yellow in here, so I guess the bearings are clogged up with pollen. Yeah, I don't know if it's possible to see, but in here there's a lot of pollen, yellow. I don't think it's possible to see it here, but so I've been taking everything apart, and it was one of these bearings that were sticking. So I cleaned them up now, and it seems to be running freely and nice. And I lubricated it a bit, so now I'll just assemble everything again, and hopefully it will work the way it should. Seems to be working fine, so that was a pretty easy fix. Funkar den som den ska? let's try it, see if everything works. Yeah, it seems to be working. Right now it's showing 6 knots, and that seems to be very correct. So yeah, I learned something new. I didn't know that you could service these, that the actual bearings could get clogged up. So that's nice to know.
Today we're leaving the West Coast archipelago and we're sailing south, probably all the way down to Skåne, our home region. Started at 6 a.m, left the harbor real early, and I think we will continue maybe all the way up till midnight tonight. Will be like 17 or something hours at sea.
Niblar och frukost.
Starting with a ginger shot. Cheers.
Cheers.
Skål, Vera.
Skål. Skål.
Skål. Skål.
We have pretty light winds now in the morning, but according to the forecast it will pick up more and more during the day. Right now we have around 10 knots true wind, doing around 5 knots over ground, wing on wing. So slow but really comfortable sailing. We're going to change course a little bit when we have passed by the island of Nidingen in 20 minutes or so. And the girls are down below taking a morning nap. Vera needed sleep and Malin was very tired as well. But that's okay. I'm happy up here sailing on my own. It's so good sailing now. You can't relax too much because there's quite a lot of fishing nets here, so have to look for those.
Today the sea is making me really hungry, so we've had breakfast and we've had some snacks and now we're having a sandwich. Vera is hungry too.
Was it good?
Mm-hmm. Oh, good. The wind speed goes a little bit up and down. Right now we have 9 knots of true wind and we're making like 4.4 knots of speed, but it should fill in more during the day, come more from the west too. It's 11 a.m. and we've sailed 26 nautical miles. We have around 80 left if we go all the way down to the island of Ven in Öresund. Oh. Bad luck struck us again. We lost the GoPro. Johan was trying to film from the bow on this super long carbon fiber pole, but when he put it down in the water, the whole thing just cracked. And I heard that sound. You could hear it like scraping the hull, and then it was sticking up through the water. So it was floating for a while, so we decided let's take down the sails, go turn around and try to find it. And I managed to make a marker where it's like, and we are here right now, but it has probably sunken already.
Yeah, what a bummer. This stick that I've been using, it's been okay before, but now I think the angle that I put it down under the water, it was just too much for it, and I tried to retrieve it, but it was already bent so much because of the pressure from the water. It's so annoying that it was the new GoPro. We just bought GoPro 9. We had a GoPro 5 before, so what a bummer that I didn't use that one for this. In 5 years of sailing, we never lost a drone or a camera overboard. But this season here on the west coast, we lost one drone and now a GoPro. Yeah, that's how it is, but we won't find it here. I think it has already sunk.
I was about to start making lunch, but we ran out of propane. So we have to switch bottle now before we can start.
Back in business, so there's new propane.
Yeah, I will make some lunch for us.
And the wind has picked up a little bit now. We have 17, sometimes 18 knots of true wind, and we have quite a lot of current against us, about 0.7, 0.8 knots, which makes the sea a bit bumpy. But it's still very pleasant sailing.
We got some sun now. Became so much warmer immediately. Vera and I are hanging out in the cockpit. Johan is taking a nap. We're drawing a little bit, or we'll see if we will draw a little bit. We have the crayons out.
Ta den då. Titta ut. The wind is slowly turning a bit more to the west, so it's nice to have this staysail sheeted like this in the middle of the boat. It helps to project a little bit more wind into the Genoa when it's pulled out like this to the windward side. But I think in a few hours from now we have to move the sail to the other side, take down the pole, or maybe we keep it up. It's a fantastic day. Not a lot of traffic. And the seas are a lot flatter now because the current has died down a little bit, but the wind has picked up. So we're doing around 6.5 to 7 knots over ground at the moment. I will see if I can find a better way to sheet the staysail in the middle like this. Right now I'm just using 2 blocks like this. But obviously the angle on this sheet is not correct, should be a bit more aft, so that's something to work on. But it's nice because it's not only, like I said, projecting more wind into the Genoa, it also helps with the rolling motion of the boat if you have big seas.
Flying right now. You can really feel the difference. We now have the current with us. Whee!
Yeah, we're doing 7.8 knots at the moment over ground.
0.8?
7.8, yes.
Wow.
And that's 7.0 through the water.
And true wind 15.
So we have around, I don't know, half a knot, a bit more current with us.
It's 6 o'clock sharp. And we are almost in Scania. Soon we can see Lullaby, this narrow peninsula sticking out, which is kind of the entrance to Öresund.
Yeah, not really, but almost.
Almost.
It's 16 nautical miles there.
Still?
Yeah.
It looks so close.
Yeah, it does, but it's pretty high, so...
Having some dinner now before Vera goes to bed. She already ate. She ate before us. We're having soup. We decided to continue to Ven, the island. So I guess we'll arrive around midnight, or it will be 1 a.m. maybe.
It's about, let me see, it's 40 nautical miles left to Ven. So, and right now we're doing good speed around between 6.5 and 7 knots. So, what's that? 5 hours? A bit more? 6? Berätta, vad är det du ritar? The wind has turned more to the west, so we had to move over the sail to port side. But we left the whisker pole up because I think that once we're in the strait of Öresund, or the Sound, going south, we'll turn up slightly more to the east, so we might move over the sail again. But we'll see. It's pretty cool that there's been a lighthouse up there for almost 500 years now on Kullen. The first one was ordered by King Frederick of Denmark in 1560 something, that there should be a lighthouse here, because back then Scania or Skåne was Danish. Now we're just passing by Kullen, and Genoa is back on the whisker pole, but the wind is very light now and the sea is a bit rolly. That's why the head sail is flogging around a bit. I hope it stabilizes once we're around the peninsula here. Is Vera sleeping?
Yeah. It took a while to get her to fall back asleep.
Almost sunset, and the Genoa is back on port side. We're almost at the beam reach now. Or, yeah, just about. We're getting closer to the narrow passage here in Öresund between Helsingör in Denmark and Helsingborg in Sweden. Let's hope the wind doesn't change back now. I'm taking the whisker pole down. It's almost 11 o'clock now. The girls are down below sleeping. And we have, the wind has dropped quite a bit. We have 10 knots of wind now. And about 2 to 3 hours to go before we reach the anchorage. We have some friends coming up from the south here. They're on the way up to Gothenburg. So I think we'll meet them here in a couple of minutes. We will go at an angle, head over to the Danish side, and shouldn't really be a problem. There's just one ship coming up now that I try to give some room. And now there's only one more ship coming from the north, the one up there. And after that, there should be no more problems. Almost at anchorage now, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Now it's time for some sleep.
Thank you so much for watching. We really want to keep our content ours. So if you would like to support our production, please hop over to our Patreon page and join the crew.